actually an Ogie reference.
Talking is going to do the intro.
Oh, we're doing it now? All right.
Yeah, we're ready.
Good idea. We are tWoTcast, episode 247. That was exciting.
All right, everyone shut the f*** up.
Wheel of Time. Reread a podcast. Explicit and R freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast!
You're listening to tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time reread podcast.
Yes, good.
You happy?
Good.
Now covering Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, Book 1, The Eye of the World. With me is Jono.
Jono.
Joe.
Oh, hey, Tom.
I'm Tom Sawyer Meth.
Hi.
There's three of us.
Hi, Jono.
There are three of we,
There is three of us right now. As it should be.
as it always has been,
As it...
half the time.
I've got some math for you.
Okay.
Oh,
You ready for
really?
this?
Yeah.
It costs, for $50 American on Cameo, you can get Rolo from the Cape to send you a video message.
Oh, my God.
I kind of want to do it.
I know you did. I'm surprised you still have money in your bank account.
I feel like you're telling us this so we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, my birthday's next month.
Yeah.
And guess what you can get for $50?
Look, I'm just bringing it up.
I feel like two scenarios just happened. One,
Maybe if we made $50 extra on Patreon.
that's exactly where that was going, yeah. And
We
two,
could use it.
all our
shout out
patrons
for
just
the
decided,
podcast.
no thank you. Don't want my patron money to go to Rolo videos for Tom O'Hara.
Have you ever looked through those before?
I actually got one for losing my fantasy football as an extra kick in the dick.
Yeah.
It was related to my Juggalo last place, and it was like another guy who's a part of the Juggalo just making fun of me.
They're either like kind of funny but too expensive, like over $100, or it would be hilarious because some people think they're worth like $500, like Flavor Flav.
I almost lost my beer there.
It's $150 to get one from Tom Arnold.
What the fuck? First off,
That seems low.
I don't know what says more. Joe thinks that seems low, or Tom thinks that seems way too high.
It's $150 to get one from Beverly D'Angelo, the mom from Vacation.
Oh yeah. So what are the levels here? I guess is what I'm not understanding.
Gold,
It doesn't break
silver,
it up by
Tom Arnold.
levels. I just picked like celebrities and scrolled through, and it's just not in alphabetical order. It's not arranged by money. I guess I could have filtered it. I didn't even bother to look.
What about Jeff Goldblum? That's what I'm getting to.
The only other one that I thought was interesting was $60 from Tia Carrera from Wayne's World.
Whoa!
Ah.
Shawing.
I'll
Interesting.
get that.
Ransland?
Yeah.
Party on.
Party on.
Let me see $110 out of our shared bank account because I got videos from Rolo and Tia Carrera. That's fucking ridiculous.
Me and Jono do have Ransland, like Matt and Rand costumes, but like in the eye through the skew of Wayne's World.
Wheel of Time. Yeah, Wayne's World. Yeah.
We can do something weird with it. That's all I'm saying. It was a joke that fell incredibly flat at JordanCon.
I'm assuming Rolo would use his real name when he sent you the video, and I'd be like, don't do that, say Rolo.
Yeah, you could definitely ask him to. It'd be funny.
I'm sure he so embraces that role. It's probably his like marquee
Honestly,
award.
I bet no one asked that guy about the cape. When you fucking requested that, he would think that you were mocking him.
Probably, but
I know nobody likes that show. Like,
all you have to do is point into the podcast where we endlessly talk about how much we love it.
Yeah, when we have 8 episodes.
There's documentation. It's in the Library of Congress.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard. Fuck.
It's in the Library of Congress, guys. Every tweet.
Yeah. There's a good chance Nicolas Cage looked for it when he was trying to find it in National Treasure 2.
Nicolas Cage, can't get a cameo from him.
That's disappointing.
There was a few when I saw them. I was like, oh, and then I was like, $200. Fuck yourself.
We jokingly looked into how much it would cost to hire Jeff Goldblum. when he started doing those apartments.com commercials, I'm like, how much does it cost? How much would it cost to get Jeff Goldblum do a commercial? What does that cost?
A lot.
It's a lot. It's like $250,000 for like 8 hours, which is a lot.
I don't think we're quite there.
Then we're gonna really need those Patreon donations to increase quite a bit. And then guess what? Jeff Goldblum's coming to JordanCon.
Yeah, we're gonna pay for him for 8 hours at JordanCon, $250,000
God.
plus a lot of.
That would be hilarious if all we did was walk around with Jeff Goldblum for like 8 hours.
Looks like you're at JordanCon.
That's part of the deal. You're not allowed to hang out with anyone else.
Oh yeah,
Just us.
we bought you, man.
And actually,
I think it's more for acting work. He doesn't really just hang out with people for money.
The actor?
He absolutely would.
Yeah, I think he'd enjoy it.
He probably would.
Yeah, he'd appreciate our podcast and our
It's not even work. It's $250,000. You don't even have to work. Just hang out.
God damn, I need to change
That's
my
a
life.
fair point.
Yeah. I feel like I'm doing a lot
I need
more
to
for a lot
change my
less.
life.
Yeah.
I need to become an amazing actor.
Yeah. A famous man for a few decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No big deal. You guys have
$250,000 seems low for Jeff Goldblum to do a commercial.
I mean, it wasn't but it's for a commercial. It was for like a day's work.
It was 8 hours, plus I'm sure he gets royalties.
You know, I mean, like if you plan it well, I'm sure you can get a lot out of somebody in 8 hours of work. But like
a hooker.
I don't know. It's a
Yeah, you get thousands upon thousands of lines for 8 hours.
yeah. So I'm sure he did like I'm sure he did all the apartment.com commercials in like one day, kind of thing.
But yeah, I would just write 8 hours worth of script. That would go on for eternity. I get decades of commercials out of that. Anyway, spoiler warning.
Oh, spoilers!
Yeah. In case you wanted to be surprised by how much it cost to hire Jeff Goldblum when you called him, now you know.
Too late.
Also, this is our episode covering The Eye of the World, written by Robert Jordan. This might be the only time you hear his name said regularly. Chapters 16 through 19.
Do you guys
I resent that. I say his name quite regularly.
drop the one from those? It's chapters 6, 9.
6 through 9?
Yeah.
6
I mean, it's not
to
close
9.
enough, but it's 16 through 19. 16, 19. 16, 19.
See, I like it.
Yeah, okay, alright.
All right.
As an aside, Tom, you interrupted what I was trying to say for zero moments because I thought about it after we started
Are
saying
you
it.
backtracking on small talk now? I'm trying to get through this.
But,
I wish you could see his face, because yes, he is.
yeah. Have you guys
I mean, our
listened-
viewers know, but Tom can't see it.
Have you guys listened to the new James Bond theme song by Billie Eilish?
No.
No.
I don't love it. It's No Time to Die. I don't know who the fuck Billie Eilish is. I've heard her name a few times.
She's a pop singer.
Thank you. Thanks, Dad.
She is a musical artist
From the 2010s.
from the very recent history of music that Jono does not listen to.
It's not
Yeah,
great.
right. Pretty popular.
Yeah, she's pretty popular.
Well, it's not my fault. Because it's not.
I mean, I haven't heard the song, but
It's not great. I don't think it's.
I mean, I don't love every song.
I know, I get that. But Adele's Skyfall,
Yeah, that was really good.
it's really good. Even, what's his name? Sam Smith? Sam whatever, who did Spectre. Still pretty good.
Yeah, what was the Spectre one? I don't think I know that one.
Just yell Spectre.
Spectrum. Spectrum. It goes like that.
Yeah,
okay.
that's correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All together at the Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Spectre. This one, it just, the problem is like the lyrics don't work in that kind of cadence. Like, die another day. No,
Yeah.
it's really bad. Like, I don't feel like that they added the right.
It's our music review podcast.
I mean, you had to write Skyfall into a song and she made it work. So I feel like it's Billie Eilish's fault if the lyrics don't fit.
And I agree.
I mean, I haven't listened to the song, so
Spoiler warning about the
I'm not
song.
backing up your opinion on this, but
yeah, I feel like I'm going to disagree.
Spoiler warning about the song. I don't fucking love it.
well, I mean, you don't like music past the year 1987, so
Well, it's not true.
all right.
I like
you
Guns
don't
N'
like
Roses'
music
Illusion
past
too.
the 90s.
most of the 90s songs I like in a kind of nostalgic, ironic sense too, is make it feel better.
That's kind of how I like most of the James Bond songs, though.
How dare you?
Kind of like as a joke. They're not actually good songs.
Whoa.
I mean, some of them are.
Yeah.
Arguably, but
yeah, there's a few that are definitely not.
Yeah, there's some objectively horrible ones
almost,
in there.
Yeah. We should just do a James Bond review podcast.
I mean, at some point, we need to talk more about James Bond, because we talk about it enough to where people, our viewers clearly know how much we love it, you know?
And, Tom, I assume you're not going to be moved back by April?
What now?
I assume you're not going to be back here by April, is that correct?
Probably.
I feel very much faith in that. So you're not going to go to the opening of the new Bond movie with us in April in a tuxedo and your wife in a gown?
I mean, I would love to, but it's probably not going to happen. Are we going to read the book? Talk about the book?
That's what we're doing right now.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the book. Oh yeah, like Tom was saying, chapter 16.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that whole thing again.
But you don't need to.
I'm definitely not going to say... Spoiler warning, so this is our episode covering The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, chapter 16 through 19. Chapter 16.
You don't need to.
The wisdom.
I'm not going to.
Rand point of view, and they're at the Stag of a Lion.
It's still funny every time.
In this book, it will actually matter, because eventually it changes. Unlike Warrior of the Altar.
E.
Alta E. Alta 2. I think Alta 2 is my favorite.
That one.
Tom, are you going to do...
Oh yeah, I guess they go back to the inn. They find out Renee's part of it. I think Jono talked about that last time, though.
I think
she tracked them down there. I don't know. It's just a lot of them arguing in a room, really, and then talking in a hallway after the argument. So we can kind of just dive into it. That's really the whole overview. That's the whole chapter.
I think that hits it.
Correct.
Yeah, we're going to start diving into the details there afterwards. But,
Min talking to Rand in the hallway, pulling him aside, is what I referenced last time, and that's when I was talking about how on the podcast 10 years ago I said that I think Nynaeve and Moraine would be the ones that use Kalendor with Rand.
You know, one
so I'm just for 2 episodes in a row, I'm just pointing out how brilliant I was 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're super smart. Super smart. I like how you couldn't even wait till this episode to bring it up for the first time.
Well, I guess I thought it was part of the last episode. You know, when I listened to the old podcast, we did a very bad job of staying on topic.
Bad job.
So I think we kind of jumped ahead or something. I don't know why I thought that was in the last
Well,
part.
Tom, here's the ultimate test. Does Joe bring it up again next episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'll just bring it up anytime the sparks come up.
I think I'm gonna. You know what? I will now.
Well, then it doesn't count. So
Nynaeve mentions how she followed Lan's trail, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen him startled.
Yeah.
How long do Nynaeve's woodsman abilities show up before they just we never hear about them again?
I think this book.
Yeah.
I mean, given how impressed Lan is by it, it's an impressive skill that she has that just completely goes to waste later.
Yeah, I feel like when they're hunting Black Aja in Tanchico or something. I mean, I know it's a city, but you'd think that she'd have a little bit more acute awareness of what's around them. And they get
ambushed
all the time.
I'm good at
just based on her ability to walk through the woods and see a twig that's broken or something. I feel like she should.
But she was never startled by a deer in Tanchico. She's very good at that.
That's true.
And we find out Nynaeve already has a crush on Lan.
Oh yeah, super early.
Yeah.
It's in this chapter.
Yeah, it's in this chapter.
Yeah, that you see it for the first time.
What's that about? I don't know. Maybe it's just stony hard men. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah.
She definitely needs a father figure in her life.
He's half the reason she left, I think.
Yeah, she's like,
she's like, I need to get those children back and see that hot dude again.
You think she was just chasing that dick?
Oh
yeah, for sure. That's
left and right, all across that trail.
Because later in the chapter we find out the council was trying to decide what to do and possibly.
And she was like, "Fuck it, I'm going."
Yeah, I'm going no matter what.
She's like, I told the women's circle I was going to go chase some dick, and they're like, "Well, I'm not sure that's a good idea for the wisdom, but all right."
I think that's kind of a note. She kind of gives them some news about what's been happening in the Two Rivers. I mean, nothing crazy. It's just she mentions there was a council meeting and Tam's still sick and he hasn't left yet and blah blah blah. I mean, it kind of gives you an idea Tam's going to be further behind, and if at this point you're still concerned about them following, because Tam did want to follow him like a day or two later.
Well, he does.
They do. They show up at the White Tower eventually.
That is correct.
Yeah, I know. We know that, but we don't know that for quite a while though.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to. I don't really have anything to say about their little argument in the room.
So there's a couple things that jump out to me. One, Tom Maryland nails a great joke beforehand when they're walking in, when Min tries to talk to him, and we don't have time for that, boy. Like thinks that Rand's about to fuck
He just
her.
instantly knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
No time for cuddling, man.
He can tell. He sees the look in Min's eye. She already knows that she's going to marry Rand.
Her response, that was perfect. Go juggle something, asshole.
You know what's funny? We constantly refer to That is kind of funny. Does Matt say that or does Rand say that? I thought Matt said it.
No, Min says it.
Min says it.
Go fucking
Maybe that's what.
Go juggle something in the go in the common room and go juggle something.
You had a hard time with all of that.
Go jug it. You know?
Seriously, what happened to you? That might be when I first fell in love with men.
Agreed.
It's very possible.
I wish her name were something more feminine, so it didn't sound like that's when I fell in love with men.
Elmendretta?
Elmendretta.
Yeah, that's also an awful name, but fuck it.
It is an awful name. That's why she doesn't go by it.
So I chose Min, not like.
I don't know if you knew this, but Min can get it.
Yeah, that's very true. Also, still annoyed with Egwene. Like, he comes here, like Rand's about to apologize to her, and she takes one look and just like...
Yeah, they're just in a little, like, childish lovers spat bullshit kind of thing. Without being lovers.
Are they lovers?
No, you know what I mean. They're in, like, a little elementary, grade school boyfriend-girlfriend.
Like, they dance together.
Actually...
I don't know. Based on their mental ages, I would say more like elementary school.
That's fine. When does... I'm sorry.
Based on the fanfic I read, they are lovers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That fanfic...
Later on, there's like...
Susan Sarandon.
There's like a chapter in between the lines here. And they just go...
It's like literally your book just has a whole bunch of things scrawled around. Fuck.
I mean, yeah, but then I typed it up and put it on the internet. Like any good fanfic writer does.
So when is it... I really remember loving Egwene early in the series, so I assume it's book 2 once we start getting her point of view. Kind of like with Matt. Like, Matt's kind of an annoying character until book 3, and you start reading from his point of view, and you're like, shit, he's great.
Yeah.
I assume it's
I don't find him annoying yet.
Agreed. And he's got a great thing
He's
coming
just
up
funny
here.
now.
Yeah.
Like, right now he's funny. He's a little whiny, but he's funny for the most part. And then... Obviously, with the dagger, he starts getting more and more paranoid and crazy. He starts becoming an asshole.
Yeah, actually, by the end of this, when he's like, "Let's sneak out," I'm like, "You're so stupid."
I mean,
but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there. I do like how Tom threatens and warns Nynaeve, like threatens/warns Nynaeve, like, you can't take these kids back, like they'll fucking die. The Trollocs will come back, and like Lan's like, huh.
Yeah.
I weirdly have respect for this man now.
And he also is just like, you want to say something about the Aes Sedai? We fucking came here with them. They came here with her. Yeah. You know what? Well, I'll be fucking hanged.
Yeah. You stupid idiot. You idiot child.
And like, he's just like, I only said that because I came here with him.
The only other note about the news from the Two Rivers I will say is like, and I said this 10 years ago, but like, Perrin feels like an orphan. I swear to God, he didn't have a family.
He doesn't even mention his family.
He constantly mentions the Luhans, like in reference to, in lieu of his own parents.
Luhan.
Was my boss angry?
Yeah. Well, what did my boss say? Is he mad I left the forge? What about your parents, you idiot?
It kind of undercuts how sad he is that they're dead when he gets back. I mean, the Luhans are still alive.
Well, because they didn't exist until then, I think.
I think that's absolutely something we probably underplay, because that's really true. And like, I get that, as an apprenticeship scenario, you spend more time with him, but it's still your goddamn
And in a
family.
way, when you're an apprentice, you've kind of like grown up, so to speak, like gone off to college, I guess, sort of.
But
yeah, I assume he lives with them.
He does. But again, he can't have lived with him for like 15 of his 18 years.
Yeah, maybe like
2 or 3.
Yeah, 6 months or a year and a half.
Even 5 or 6 years. Like even
that
then.
long, really?
I don't know. We don't know how long he's been apprenticed to him.
6 years? He's only like 17 right now, or 18.
Technically, he's 20, but it just doesn't seem right. Like, we disagree with the age given in the textbook because they seem so dumb.
They seem so dumb and young, and immature. Yeah.
But I'd say you probably want to take someone on when he's like clearly growing up is going to be muscular. So like probably like mid-teens.
Do you have anything? So Nynaeve and Moraine have a private conversation, as Tom said.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only other question is, would Moraine and Lan have killed Nynaeve if she couldn't channel? Or if Min hadn't seen the sparks? Like, what if it was just a random village person? Are they going to get rid of that person? Or...
No. But they maybe wouldn't have brought her with them.
Yeah, like, what if Senbui showed up? Are they bringing him to shake
No, they just would have left him behind and not cared.
What if
they would have left him like they did at Two Rivers?
Or the cowboy or the Indian.
And then when the inn burned down, they wouldn't have cared if they were inside of it.
Or the police officer. Which village people were you thinking of?
I don't even know where you started on this.
You said which village person. I assume we were...
Gotcha.
Construction worker.
Yeah, that's a good call. If it was the construction worker, you want to leave him behind in Maryland to help rebuild the
rebuild the inn, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas here.
Let's move on to 7.
She knows that Rand was born outside the Two Rivers.
And Nynaeve does, yeah.
Flicker of,
and also did not tell Moraine.
Yeah.
Which is kind of important.
And also kind of amusing because...
But also kind of stupid because Moraine not knowing who the person she is looking for doesn't help her.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Nynaeve doesn't do it for the reasons Rand wants her. I mean, like, Rand's just, like, horrified and doesn't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
Nynaeve doesn't tell her because she's stubborn and
spiteful.
Spiteful. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Dark One wouldn't know either way, but you could theoretically at least get Matt and Perrin out of this trouble if you knew it was Rand.
That's true, because she doesn't know that there's 3 Taviran.
Well, Nynaeve goes upstairs, taking a bath.
She does know from men.
Yeah,
all parties.
All right. We don't need to cover the bath. That's
no, it was a Home Alone joke, Tom.
God damn it, Tom.
Also, Jesus by the way, if you're gonna write some fanfic, like obviously they leave the inn like mere moments from now, basically.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's later on. Never mind. Sorry.
I've read that fanfic too. All right, to chapter 17.
Yeah.
All right, they go to the common room. There's some dancing. There's a man with a scar on his face. Mm-hmm. I would think a lot of people in this mining town would have scars on their face.
Nope.
When they're done dancing, Lan tells them something's wrong in the night. But he doesn't really know what it is for some reason.
Yeah, that's...
And then, But yeah, we can cover. We'll get to that too. The mirror draw shows up. They leave. White Cloak's Moraine becomes a giant and burns down. They go to Betty Bye.
Good, yeah. So Tom's performing and they dance, and who cares really, other than the Scar guy is there, and Rand's all like, dancing with Nynaeve, whoa!
So, as you can guess...
It's exhausting.
I've got like 18,000
I can't dance with a wisdom, she's like 2 years older than I am.
4.
She's 4 years older than me.
She's got breasts. You could almost make an entire group of spin-off novels or a TV show about the fucking craziness that is like the Great Hunt of the Horn. Like there's so many like deep. It seems like they've got like enough depth for all the characters for all the stories.
He does mention he's like telling the Great Hunt of the Horn again, but no one cares. And he's like, well, he could tell it for the next 17 days straight, and everyone would love it, because there's 70 stories or whatever.
And I just
why would I want to read those stories? I know who finds it.
It's just Matt.
Adventure, Tom.
Technically Rand, I guess, is the one who finds it.
Every single one of those stories ends with, and they never found it.
And they died looking.
I guess that is true. There's not a single one of these like good stories.
Every person in every one of those stories you just heard for the last 7 days, they died unfulfilled.
Are all of them failures, or are some of them from before, like the old, like ancient legends from the when they do find it?
I guess that's true.
They're all failures.
Yeah, I like.
Well,
that
how
idea.
would the information of what happens with the horn stay around if they didn't have stories of people using the horn?
Because that's from before the Great Hunts. It's a legend, and they're all searching for the legend.
Which turned to myth.
Find it.
Which should be long gone, though, by the time the age comes.
It's like the King Arthur stories, and he spends like 7 books looking for Excalibur and never finds it. And like, well, that's it. No round table. See you guys later.
Well, we just finished that book. Spoiler alert.
But they know that the sword helps him become a king.
Well, yeah, because God told him.
It's all a circle, guys.
Did you not
I don't know if you knew this. It's all a wheel.
Monty Python?
Everything goes back around again. I think you're wrong.
Anyway, so the Scarface man was a white cloak informant.
I wrote dark friend / white cloak spy, but yeah, he's a white cloak. He's spy. Just white cloak. Well, if you believe the innkeeper, that untrustworthy, skinny ass piece of shit. Wait, he's fat. Never mind. He's trustworthy. Yeah, he's trustworthy.
So do they? They're talking about the fact.
Filch sounds bad. Master Filch sounds like the sound his ass makes when he gets up out of the toilet.
Well, you're familiar with felching, right?
No.
Master Felch. So there's two definitions of felching, according to.
Go on.
There's one.
I'm almost upset to hear.
Finish your beer right now. So like when we'll use me and you as this. When I come inside your ass, you hand me a straw and then I suck it out.
God damn.
That's felching 1. Felching 2 is just if I put a rat inside your rectum for some goddamn reason. I don't know the scenarios.
Neither of which are his name.
Yeah. Master Felch.
Nobody wants this information.
Oh, I think they do.
I think that's how that rat broke its back, was just inside his ass and he just tightened it.
He's just walking around felching so many rats.
Yeah, just broke. Look at the cat did. Oh no.
I just wrote a Glean is caught between Nynaeve and Moraine. The whole
You have notes on the dancing.
Well, yeah,
I love it.
I've got more notes too. Yeah, don't worry.
Rand's like, I need some milk, and then Land's like, don't go far. How far does he think he's going for a glass of milk? By the way,
maybe he's gonna go outside. He's a sheep herder. He's gonna go milk a cow. So.
You know what? It's not. Land isn't wrong for telling him to stay close because these kids are idiots, but at the same time, he's just going to go to the kitchen and grab some milk.
The one time he doesn't say don't go far, they do.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true, yeah.
That's later in the book.
I wrote, Rand gets milk for his bell.
He senses that something's off.
Yeah, why so...
He can't tell what it is, but then, when it's there, he can sense that it's leaving and almost like how far away it is.
Maybe it hasn't
materialized?
Come close yet, yeah.
Did you realize that this thing actually swings its sword at Rand's head and then
So they
stops?
give a specific, not in this chapter, Jono, but like the next one, I
quarter
think.
Mile,
yeah,
half mile.
Quarter mile, yeah.
But this...
So maybe Trollocs are close, but not within that range.
So Land can sense a Trolloc or a Fade as far away as Uncle Rico can throw a football?
Yeah, that's right.
Alright.
It's exactly true. We met in a chat room.
Damn it.
Always and forever.
I never noticed what I was trying to say, but got totally and happily derailed. The fucking Weirdral swings his sword at Rand. And just like stops halfway and just like, you're gonna die anyway, kid, and then just leaves.
Well, he says the dark one wants you, so I can't kill you.
But God,
and then runs away when he's running away to get Trollocs, obviously.
With good idea telling Peyton Fane where you're staying, Rand.
Why did he show up in the first place? Like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't think he was meaning to. I think he was investigating what Peyton Fane told him, his informant, and he was looking for them. And when the second he found one, he's like, "They're here!" And then he ran away to go get his buddies.
Let's say Land doesn't come tumbling down the stairs. What's the Fate's next move?
Grab him.
Running away to go get his buddies.
Sharing a glass of milk.
Yeah. They just keep having a conversation in the hall, that's all.
The Dark One wants you. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that's a great question, kid. Let's pour some milk.
What we don't know is he's actually the Midrill Butler. He was going to bring him some milk.
Midrill Butler comes out.
He's the Midrill Butler, obviously.
Yeah.
He's going to bring him another glass of milk or some cookies or something to go with the milk.
And that's why he ran away when the milk broke, because he was like,
I gotta go get some milk. And then he ran off.
Master's going to blame me for this, too.
He does have to go. Yeah, because Rand can't go far to get the milk, so someone's got to go out and get it for him.
Tom, you weren't on that episode. We made up an amazing new character. He's Midrill Butler. He wears a tux and tails. The tails don't move in the wind.
When you just started talking about it, I just got really happy.
It was something about like Rand's dream. Rand's dream. It was in the White Tower, and then a Midrill's inside.
Yes, come on in.
And then we were just joking about, I don't know how we got off on the tangent, but something about like Beauty and the Beast style, like Pierre Guest kind of. But it's like, wouldn't it be funny if he was like he worked there?
Puts the service to test.
Anyway, and all our viewers know what we're talking about, so we'll move on. What do I have here? As it leaves,
they're leaving.
The shadows embrace it, which I thought was a really cool description of a fading into shadows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then.
Oh, is that why they're called a fade?
I suppose.
No, it's their haircut.
I get it.
Yeah, they all have that same fade haircut. What it is. That's just ironic written. That.
How many people have actually seen that to where they're like nicknaming it fades? I guess a bunch in the Borderlands.
In the 80s, everyone had that haircut.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, tons of people have seen fades.
Yeah, it seems.
All the Trollocs that live along the coast are called the flock of seagulls.
What are you talking about? They definitely have mullets.
Yeah, just the ones on the coast, Tom. All the ones that live in the mountains have mullets.
It's earlier on when there's all the different bands, like Flock of Seagulls, Mullet.
I wish every creature of the Dark One in this book was just named after a haircut.
That'd be great. Watch out for the bowl cuts! The what?
Mucks? The bowl cuts.
So they're all leaving immediately in the dead of the night. Master Filch is not taking this threat seriously at all.
Yeah, Moraine tries to warn him, and she's like, just let them in. Tell them we left in the middle of the night. You have no idea who we were or where we came from. And he's like, no, they're not getting anything out of us. And she's like, you idiot, listen to me.
I kind of wish there were more of Master Filch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he is an idiot. Like, he's obviously
I would love a little, like a little chapter insert point of view of, like, what happens when they're...
It's interesting because we never come back to Barrelon. There's no other Barrelon scenes other than like flashbacks from Min.
Way later on when we see Min again, she mentions that like Moraine did send gold and he does rebuild.
Correct.
The inn.
That's it though. Like, there's nothing.
Well, it's just a nice little tie up of a.
That's a bow on that. I don't think we need to come back.
Well, no, but I don't need to come back. But I mean,
you know what? I changed my mind. You know, I want to come back. Munch was a dick in the beginning. He's a dick when they leave, and we never find out what that guy's deal was.
Yeah, it's a weird, unexplored. Of all the things that's unexplored,
I think he's just mad that he loves the power of lording over his little stable yard, and he's mad that they came into the back door.
I can't believe you're letting them also leave through the back door.
He's like, what is with these assholes? And what? And then the inn, his place of business burns down.
Yeah,
he lost his job.
Anger, yeah.
He hates them.
Yeah, when the inn burns down, he's probably just like, I knew it.
I fucking knew it. What did I tell you, Filch?
You know where that fire probably started?
Put this rat in your ass.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Rat in your ass.
So they wake the gate guard. He's like, we don't open the gate at night. There's rumors. There's wolves out there. They killed dozens of cows. I'm like, you mean Trollocs?
No, we mean wolves. Wolves. I just love
imagine, what if he opened the gate and like 20 wolves ran in and just What does he think is gonna happen?
Like it's super quiet. They're cranking the gate. It slowly opens. The second it's open, like even a foot, like just 18 wolves just shoot. It's just, I told you.
I love that these guys were like, you were only told to keep the gates closed for people coming in, not everyone leaving. Never thought of it.
I guess that's right. And here's some gold. Oh, gold.
Oh, okay. That sounds legit.
Close the city gates. There's wolves. I'm like, but we have torches and swords.
There's wolves.
Close the gates. Close the gates.
They can spit fire and extinguishing things.
Also, that's such a weird rule. Wouldn't you rather just, or wouldn't it be smarter to just have like a kind of a quarantine area, or like you have to stay in this gatehouse all night and
for the wolves?
No, like if someone came up to the gate and was like, "Let me in," would they really be like, "Sorry, bro, guess you're gonna die out there"?
Yeah.
If I open this door an inch,
yeah, like,
you don't know what's gonna come.
There's wolves.
It's just a person. Let him in. Steven?
It's a merchant train. I don't think so.
Like, what the? I mean, like...
It's a baby.
It seems weird, right?
What you don't know...
I'm just saying, seems like there's a lot of gray area there between absolutely don't let them in and maybe you should and absolutely you should. You know, kind of thing.
The Trojan horse has gotten into Barrelon 5 different times, only at night.
The governor just keeps getting his house burned down.
You mean a Trojan wolf?
Yeah,
God damn it!
That's what they think this.
What did I tell you about opening that gate at night? Stop letting in wooden statues of wolves.
So of course the White Cloaks are there.
Yeah, they're in the
just
gatehouse.
watching the gate all night.
I think they're just soldiering it up with gate soldiers. Like, they're just kind of like, they don't really have a place to stay, I suppose.
It's pretty late at night. Well, they have to be staying somewhere in there since they're not allowed to leave. There's wolves out there.
That's correct. No, I think Tom's right that they're just kind of like they're patrolling. I think they're just kind of patrolling.
Maybe they were ready to leave, and the gate guard was like, "Nah."
Oh, maybe Scarface saw them leave.
That could be.
They're headed for the gate. Oh, maybe it wasn't even Mudge that was watching them at the end.
It was definitely Mudge.
No, yeah.
Maybe Mudge told Scarface, and Scarface told.
Maybe they work together. Maybe Mudge puts on a scar and pretends to be Scarface.
Well, at any rate, Moraine reveals herself. The White Cloak's the White Cloak. Dane Bornhold, of course, is like, "Oh, it's you from before, the guy with the muddy cape guy, barrel trick
thanks,
thing,
Dane Bornhold.
laughing guy, kind of thing." And then Moraine's like, "Oh yeah, how about this? I'm gigantic."
Yeah, real giant man moment here. This, along with a couple other things later,
It's just illusions, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not real.
We never see anyone do anything like this later, though. We become
It's a very
we do in
Gandalf-y moment, like when he grows larger and.
That's kind of what I mean between this and then. I guess I'll just jump to it, and we can. I mean, we can talk about it again when we get there. She becomes a giant. She makes a fucking gigantic earthquake and an insane wall of fire. Like, this is beyond her power level, right?
Well, she had the angry at that moment, but yeah, I still agree with you.
Well, the giant. There's actually precedent for that in book. I think book 5, when Rand meets with the Aes Sedai. Someone starts going giant, and then
someone starts going giant.
I think that's when it is.
And then they climbed a beanstalk. It was really weird.
He just cuts them, and then they just they cuts the weave, and they just kind of stop hovering over him. But for this part,
she is more of a Gandalf character here in the beginning. Like, her power comes more in line with what we expect later in the books.
Absolutely, and also there's definitely. I feel like he didn't really know
what to do.
Moraine was just a useful tool as a character for him at this moment in time. I feel like even some of the lines she says are a little like, really, that doesn't even seem like Moraine, really.
Yeah, there's certain things that definitely don't match up. But
and then later on, it's like he kind of gets more of a handle on her character.
Yeah.
And then, luckily, I guess they make the gates open just wide enough and stays open just long enough for them to get out.
Well, that frustrates me because they start talking about how it gets open enough, and now being an illusion, is Moraine already on the outside, and then her illusion steps over and rejoins with her body, and then she starts riding away? She does it at the same time. She steps through at the same time, so they're all staring at the giant
simultaneously.
Yeah, simultaneous.
How do you pronounce that? Is it Sam-Tom Leslie?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Sam-Tom Leslie.
But it frustrates me. Lan, this gate's open enough for Lan to just ride through and kind of have his horse catch it on the fucking
horse.
His horse. Open the door slightly. The whole time it's open enough for them to get through. You don't need a gate to be all the way open to ride.
Maybe they don't want to leave single file. I mean, and also I think they're cranking the gate slowly. It's not like a.
He also just the guy's you want to leave now? You can't.
I don't know. Do they say that they're cranking it open, or is it just a big gate that they're pushing open?
They're cranking it open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it gets slowly just 2 doors wide.
Yeah, crank it.
Yeah, done.
Well, they run and then they cold camp.
That's when we see the inn burning down.
And then hilariously, Matt asks, "What do you think Dav did with that badger?" Which I love.
That is absolutely the right question right now.
You know what that is? That's pillow talk.
Dav did that badger.
Hey, what do you think Matt did with, or what do you think Dav did with that badger?
Why's your finger pass? Shh. We bathed last night.
If somebody asked me that, I'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
That's it. I just like that it's probably just genuinely the first time that he's thought of it since leaving. He's probably like, "Oh, let's go! It's crazy! There's Trollocs," and then they're running, and then they get to Barrowland, and then excitement of a city, and then they're running more, and then he settles down into a camp one night and just goes, Oh, wait a second.
I had a great prank going.
I mean, he pulled a prank on the White Cloaks, then Moraine just pulled a prank on the White Cloaks. Maybe he was just like, that would have been a great time to have that badger.
Yeah, we should have done a giant badger illusion.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think Dad did with that?
He's just thinking about pranks. Pranks?
I mean, didn't the badger stuff happen before
That is the Winston
Winter
of this
Nights?
book.
Yeah, it was captured before Winter
Meaning
Nights.
the Trollocs happened after... I'm pretty sure he stopped caring about the badger, Matt.
Could not.
Pretty sure Dav didn't care about that badger on Winter Night anymore.
I think that badger might be dead.
That's the thing hacked a part of Dav's house. Is
So, old tWoTcast notes, Jono blows his nose on the episode, and for some reason I did not edit it out. We were real professional back then.
as opposed to now.
And then I mentioned
What
the badger.
episode was this?
This is still
2.
episode 2.
Yeah.
Good God.
And for some reason it sounds like we're almost whispering. I don't know if it's because we're out in the living room recording, but we were keeping our voices down, and I'm like, why are we so quiet? And it's not like the recording is quiet, it's like the volume of our voices is quiet. It's like, what the fuck were we doing back then?
We still don't know.
And then we talked a lot about the prequels. I don't know why.
Because they didn't exist in, and they.
I think we're just mentioning a lot, like this chapter in particular. We were talking about like Tam, and what was going on back in the Two Rivers, and we're like, what's going on with that sword? I want to read those books. And then you were saying something weird about like, weirdly of classic Jono style of like, what road did Moraine and Lan ride into town? Because it must have been this one. And now I want to read the book because they don't have any prearranged campsites like that weird campsite from before.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Tree Ford!
Anyway, chapter 18.
Hey. You know, we haven't been talking about what all would or would not be in the show yet.
You know, I have that like as a section at the end, but we should really pepper it throughout.
Yeah.
But I didn't really write a whole lot of stuff other than most of my notes for what maybe
all of it.
It's in the next couple chapters.
I think Tom's right. It should be
definitely the dancing, awkward dancing. I want
with a dark-haired girl who gives him a wink, which obviously means put it in me.
That'll be in it.
Yeah. I told you I had more notes.
Oh, Matt had sex with her later.
Yeah. Damn it!
So I was taking Rand's hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
I'm betrothed to a queen. Whatever.
All right, I'm not. I'll fuck this chick.
Sucks for you.
Think about that for Gallon. Hey, why don't you have my sloppy seconds? I'm gonna fuck your sister.
Aren't you related? Check your family tree, bro.
Distant cousins, at best. If we were farmers, we'd still be incest, which is ironic.
Step cousins.
Dozens.
Hey, do you mind if I date your ex-girlfriend? No, not at all. I'm gonna fuck your sister.
That's one big one up on you, isn't it?
In a 4-way.
Even Berylane is like, I'm gonna fuck Rand, and then she's like, nah, I'm gonna fuck Perrin. Alright, fine, I'll fuck Gallon. Still hand-me down from Rand.
Although
he's sure, it really never stops.
Every woman in this book is just like, Randall Thor, fuck yes. Yeah. Alright, fine.
You know what the common theme is? They love gingers.
And that can't be right.
and
that's
power.
Definitely not the case ever in world history.
You'd think, you'd almost think that like if Robert Jordan was a ginger, I'd be like, I get it. But like, it's kind of inexplicable.
It's baffling.
All the characters are written after Harriet, right? All the female characters. She's been cheating on him with a redhead for years. This is his way. This is his way of just.
He's just been he's just a cuckold like 20 times over.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
All the gingers.
Either he wrote it that way, angry as fuck, or she edited. The only thing I would change here is make it a redhead. Oh, why is that?
So it's not real.
Yeah. No, make all these guys redhead because I want that. Trust me. A redhead.
You should make the main character really tall and with red hair.
Oh, like that guy comes over when I leave?
Yeah, no, what?
What's his name?
I knew it!
His name's Randall.
Randall Thor.
Gonna Randall on that dick.
Oh! I don't know what that means, but I love it.
So chapter 18, the Camelin Road.
Ominous shit here. It's not a good-looking chapter icon for you to say, oh, look, we left. It's the Trolloc with, like, the fist and spike.
I guess you're sort of expecting it just based on the Midril encounter. The Midril Butler encounter.
Short recap, but I guess a lot to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Recap is just they hear Trolloc horns while they're traveling. They run away. Then they fight Trollocs. Then they go to shed our logo.
That is perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, that's everything. Man, that's everything that happens. But
So yeah, I read they travel pursued by Trollocs. Horn sound. Land leaves and goes and scouts backwards. Basically,
I love this part. It's terrifying.
It's awesome. Also, it's really horrifying how close to actual death they've come.
I find it
like Lan is basically like, if I don't see you, you know I don't make it. You know, kind of thing to Moraine.
You'll feel me die. And you'll go insane because
you'll definitely know I die.
Are you sure it's not? If you don't see me, it's because I'm wearing camo.
Because I got this sweet Harry Potter invisible cloak.
Magic camo.
He's got one of the Deathly Hallows, Tom.
He does. You know what? This sword may be another one.
So I guess when this horn start up, we find out Lan is the last Lord of the Seven Towers for the first time.
I'd like to back up because while that's
we do find that out for sure, but we also saw that in Min's viewing like a couple chapters ago.
Well, that's fascinating.
Although we didn't go into detail about that.
Let's talk about some lost knowledge here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nynaeve wants to talk about herbs and remedies.
Oh, well, tell me more.
I don't want to because it's goddamn annoying.
Oh, okay, go on.
But as Tom said, Last Lord of the Seven Towers, A, cool fucking title, B, interesting, C, I love how Tom's backstory keeps getting cooler and more like...
Yeah, he's like,
He's like...
I know what that means, and none of these country bumpkins do.
And again...
And he's like, is that... No. Is it? No.
Oh, Owl Land Mandragoran.
Yeah.
Not just Land.
It's so far... Well, he doesn't know their last name, does he?
I mean,
he has no idea what Lan's last name is.
Well, regardless, I mean, Tom is a fucking... Tom's way older than Lan, so he would have known all the people of relevance when Malkier fell.
Sure.
So, Al Lan, probably would have been... And that
yeah, but I mean, like, why would you think that is connected until you hear that, though?
A, he looks like a Borderlander. He wears the Hadori.
All right, the Borderlander... Never mind.
Jonah, stop lettering things.
B... yourself.
And if you do, make sure you do it like Buzz style and say like
A, 2, D.
A, 2, and D.
I haven't gotten to 2 because you guys keep interrupting me. B, 2, he lives in the most boring city in all of them. D, I'm not that lucky.
Gotcha. So Lan does come back. He's like, there's 500-ish Trollocs back there. 500-ish?
Yeah.
And I like how they're like...
That's what he says.
I like how they're like, how? As in, like, Moraine's like, well, if they had them before, why didn't they use them? And if they didn't, how the fuck did they get them here?
Magic.
Yeah, that's when we start kind of figuring out the ways.
Yeah, or at least hints of, like, oh, that's how they were doing it.
Well, they've got magic
camo I guess we don't start to figure that out. We don't know what the fuck that is.
What Waygate are oh, yeah, so there's one up in the mountains, that's right.
There's several that are around.
Well, Perrin deals with one in particular.
Correct, yeah.
Do you think these 500 came from that one? Or do you think they came out somewhere else?
It's really not explained, because one of the things that's supposed to happen
closer to Barrelon.
There's got to be one closer to Barrelon. There is a steading, obviously, which we'll find out. So there could be one grown around that. It's the cat. But... we never see that for confirmation, and I don't remember how old this steading is, if it's more recent to...
What does the cat have to do with the Waygate?
There's a cat trying to get in the studio.
There's a noise at the door, Tom.
But one of the things that always confuses me is, like, so Barrelon is not a huge town, but it's a good-sized town, small city, and there's bustling, smelting and shit to the west, schmelting. Where smelting
is that like felting?
It's a lot like felting.
It's when you pour liquid gold over your rock hard penis.
Don't ask why I would do this. It hurts like shit. But there is not a single motherfucking merchant the entire time. No one within distance of this. Like, what the? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Sure it does.
There's wolves at night, Jono. You gotta hide.
Yeah, maybe you hadn't heard. The wolves.
Oh.
That was the whole thing.
I mean, it seems like it's a relatively quiet section of wilderness road.
It shouldn't be though. Like they talk about like all the fucking iron for most of Andor.
Aren't they pretty well off the beaten path here?
No,
they're on the Camelin Road right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rand and Matt travel the Camelin Road for quite a ways after Whitebridge and don't run into many people.
Yeah, they do.
And a lot of the people they're running into are on the way to see the dragon.
I feel like they're a lot closer to... Like, once you hit Whitebridge, like, everything between Whitebridge and Camelin is pretty...
It's pretty well trafficked, yeah. But, I mean, like, I'm just saying there's...
So that still makes sense, though.
10 miles behind them.
Yeah.
And X miles in front of them. So we're talking at least 20 miles of a fucking road.
I do like how Nini's like, why are we going so slow? Let's go! And she's like, maybe they're behind us because there's something up ahead of us, you idiot. I know what I'm doing.
No, we should gallop.
Stop questioning me.
Gallop full speed east.
I'm smarter than you. Yeah, the horns ahead and behind. They get pinned and
Tell her.
Yes.
That doesn't seem right.
They get pinned and leave the road.
I didn't hear the D. I just heard pen.
And then, I was burp talking, Jeff Goldblum style. Land charges and they follow, which is kind of a horrifying moment. You're just like, holy shit, they're running at Trollocs downhill on horseback.
It should be noted.
Yeah, realistically, they should have been slaughtered here.
Well, I mean, obviously they're not there to die. They're there to catch them on catch poles and capture them all. So, like...
Which I think is the last time
I think it's the only reason that they're not dying.
Well, two things. One, do we ever see catch poles again?
I think they talk about them briefly in
Book
Yeah, we see him in Shader Logo.
Damn it.
That's true. That's true.
B, please now I'm going to B.
I think when they're pretending to be puppets in Carrion, they also have...
I think
true.
you're right.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I could think of as a book two. Secondly, like we know that.
Well, they stopped trying to catch them pretty quick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But why doesn't Moraine just instantly kill the fucking Myrddraal? Not because she knows that they're like linked, but at the same time, if you kill the Myrddraal, which is hanging up trying to like. Lan and the fucking Myrddraal are going back and forth. I think this is
kind of heavy-handed, like showing Lan's
swordsmanship.
No, not swordsmanship, just like his suicidal tendencies, so to speak.
Those Trollocs would be really bad at that game at Chuck E. Cheese where the claw comes down and you try to get a toy.
The claw?
Nope, the game called...
The claw.
Now you sound like the fucking shit-ass stepdad wannabe in Liar Liar.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was referencing...
It's really more of a Toy Story.
Aliens. Which is obviously, I mean, to Tom, me, and all our viewers, we all
Jim Carrey is the one that does the claw.
Yeah. Jim Carrey does the claw.
No, but remember the shitty...
Oh, but the shitty stepdad does it bad.
Tries to do it, yeah.
It's
the
You mean
claw.
Carrie Ellis?
Oh, yeah, it is Carrie Ellis.
Robin Hood? That guy that cuts his own foot off?
In a song?
That guy that says, as you wish? Right on topic. Lan kills the Myrddraal.
Yeah, I wrote they're barely surviving, Lan kills the Fade, and then they flee because all the Trollocs, like, suddenly, obviously connected to it,
Yeah,
die.
the animator has a giant heart attack and they all die.
Yeah. Matt's already speaking the old tongue.
Yeah, then Moraine uses the Angreal to destroy, as Tom kind of already mentioned,
Dick.
which is, I mean...
Well, this is when they run into a second group.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they use Matt Rez uses the old tongue, but they don't actually discuss it until afterwards, which is why I was kind of going back. I wasn't backtracking, I guess, but I mean...
I love that this kind of throws the scent off briefly of kind of like, well, who's the person that the Dark One is after?
Yeah, for like 1 second
you assume it's Rand.
Yeah, maybe it's not Rand.
And then the answer is, no, it's definitely Rand.
It would be pretty interesting if he wrote this book so heavily from Rand's point of view, but he was like the friend of the... It's like the friend of Jesus instead of from Jesus. This is book
Tom Maryland the whole time.
it's all been Tom Maryland. Turns out he's actually not from the Two Rivers.
Yeah, we know that.
And he was born on Dragon Mount.
A whole book from Judas's point of view, by the way. Just like, then I had to kill my friend. My body was getting...
Then I turned him into the cops because it was getting weird.
Not really sure about this.
Yeah, Moraine uses the anger roll, then that's when Egwene's like, what the fuck was that, Matt? And he's like, we're all yelling shit, and she's like, no, you were yelling something different. It came from different, I'm sure.
Let's talk about how convenient the placement is for Shadar Logoth right now.
Yeah.
If it were, I don't know, a mile further north or anywhere else in the fucking world.
By the way, wouldn't that be like, just let's talk about Shadar Logoth as in general, in terms, not even in terms of location, just like, say you're the White Tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't something like an entire city that you're just, I don't know, hoping no one wanders into
and walks away with even a pebble?
Yeah. Police tape around it.
Wouldn't that be something that maybe you have like a little outpost nearby, or I don't know, you send a shitload of Aes Sedai to destroy it, or bury it, or
a million. Destroy it.
Yeah,
they can't destroy it, but they could bury it. They could do something.
Well, I mean,
maybe it's post some guards.
Well, I mean, posting guards, I think, is the right.
Well, like I said, an outpost nearby it or something.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Like they constantly overwatch this thing that is pure.
Who knows how close you can be for a long period of time?
Well, there's that.
Well,
too.
I mean, I assume you can be right near it.
I think that's correct because there's clearly nothing.
I don't think you could camp in a tent right outside the wall for a few months and just be a-okay.
I think you can. There's nature all around.
You don't have to be right outside the wall if you're gonna watch.
Yeah,
for people going in and out of it. Also, so they have wards on all of Tar Valon, just magically holding the city together, just like from wear and like normal like wear and tear, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like just everything in Tar Valon is just like laced with wards.
Is it?
Yeah, like they mention it. It's mentioned way later when they're talking about the chain and the Quendalar and like and like. She's talking about how they have to go in and break down all these old wards to like even just to remove the chain.
But is that because they're time of war?
No, it's just ancient shit that's been in place for like ever, and they just like maintain it over time. They're just like, oh, we gotta recast this magic spell every once in a while to keep this shit.
Well, you know what?
Pristine.
We'll see about this in 4 years when we get to that part.
Well,
of the
book. Point is like, why the fuck aren't they doing something like that? Like, you could put an award around the entire city and just be like, oh, someone crossed the tripwire, invisible tripwire.
You know,
like kind of thing, just so you know. Or
it's
something?
Not even a full day's march from the goddamn traveled road.
Yeah, clearly.
They should at least put the interns here.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't there be like a sign on the Camelin Road that's like, hey, don't go over there. It's really bad. Like kind of thing, like something. I don't know. It just seems like an entire city of pure evil.
Especially
seems like it should be watched over a little bit.
Like it's 50 times bigger than Barrel.
The only other thing weird about this is that they're right by Shadar Logoth. They're insanely close to the river.
Yeah. And so you would think some riverboat captain would have been a little more enterprising about that.
Their whole goal was to cross the river. Like, why camp down in Shadar Logoth? Why not just finish crossing the city?
Like, all Mordeth has to do is get someone to walk to the edge of the city with him, and then he'll take over their body. Like, his soul will enter their body, and they'll die, and then he'll be able to leave the city finally. And that's literally all it takes.
But why did they camp in the city at all? Just walk straight through to the other side. You're at the river. Because
they would still come there. The Trollocs and the Mirjal would still have done a sweep around that area.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Maybe they needed to rest. Well, it says Moraine's like insanely exhausted after the Angreal use. I know that.
Well, which, by the way, great segue.
What better place to rest than a haunted city when the exit's right over there and there's
because she's very confident in her ward. When they're in the city, she places wards in like the camp when they go into whatever building and they camp there. Like, she places wards around and she's like, oh, nothing. The evil of the city won't enter this, like, ward. Like, I know I can do that, like, kind of thing. Like, she kind of explains that.
Yeah. So, one question before we move on.
Yeah.
We mentioned how tired she is from using the Angreal.
Yeah.
And we also mentioned the fact that her use of the power at this point is almost Gandalf-esque, which is obviously a normal word.
Yeah.
It's more like Dumbledore-esque, considering this book's a ripoff of Harry Potter, but continue.
It really fucking is. But why the fuck does she do the earthquake at all? Like, all it does is knock some people down who get right back up again.
Doesn't it
I God damn it.
Yeah,
Is that the only reason you wanted to bring this up?
It's not, actually. It's not.
Doesn't it stop like a sizable amount of Trollocs from following them?
Yeah, it crushes 3/5 of Trollocs practically.
No,
and then the ones that survive
huge,
can't get
isn't
through the fire. The fire won't hold them forever, Jono.
All that happens is they fall to their feet and shit like that, and it's fucking going crazy.
Oh, I thought there was a lot more.
You think no one died?
What would they die from?
Exploding Earth? Fire?
I don't think they die from that. Maybe some.
I mean, I skimmed this chapter so quickly I could be wrong, but I feel like that's implied. It's the implication, Jono.
I don't believe many died. At the very least, the fucking Weirdral don't.
My last thing before 19 was also, and Moraine mentions that these are the powers she's not strong in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that Angreal is clearly hugely powerful.
She should have just done some wind and blown them all away.
It's like a couple little tornadoes.
Or she should have changed the smell of themselves, the Trollocs. Send it to the west.
Oh yeah, she sends their scent in another direction.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
And that's when Egwene's like, wow, that staff is really powerful. And she's like, no, it isn't, you idiot. You dummy.
But like the things of giant fires, what I was going for is like, that's fucking cool. That's a long term. If you hadn't done a fucking giant earthquake beforehand, you would have twice as long to run away.
She does the most amazing things. Like, all right, look. I became a giant made of light. I made a giant earthquake to attack Trollocs. I made a wall of fire that no one could get by, and then I did smell ventriloquism.
Smell ventriloquism is the best way to describe that. Look, it's over here.
Yeah. Did you fart? Nope.
Really lackluster finale to her magic show.
When she sends the scent off, it's just little puppets of versions of them running away on little puppet horses.
Moraine has not queefed or farted in years. But I'll tell you what, it always smells really fucking weird about 20 feet west of her. Always
I don't know why you could have just gone with farted. Anyway, chapter 19.
They reach Shadow Logoth covered in vines.
Yeah, they sneak out like idiots. They meet Mordeb. They hear the story of Eredal. They find out Trollocs are in the city. That's a chapter. Talk about it.
I like how Perrin tells Matt he may be reborn, and Tom's like, don't say that! And he's like, what? And I think it's a little less of what Tom... A little less of the explanation he gives and a little bit more of like... He's like,
one of you is clearly Dragon Reborn.
One of you is obviously Dragon Reborn. I don't know which one it is, but I'm going to protect you. Also, don't say that in front of the fucking Aes Sedai, you idiot. Kids.
Yeah.
Why are you yelling that like why are you yelling that while you leave the room?
Yeah, this is a careless whisper. Why are you telling us this thing so loudly? Yeah. Again, I think that's 100% right. It's just like, you know what? You don't say that to...
He's not wrong, though. He does say it's in your blood. It's not like you're not reborn. You're not the king of Netherland reborn, obviously.
In fact, one of you guys is probably...
Also, not that he knows or doesn't know that.
I think he's got a good inkling.
Yeah, he's also going off what Moraine said. He's like, Moraine was right. It's in your blood, you idiots. Like, you obviously have a clear line... back to like old Manethrin.
You guys are some inbred fucks. No one knew his coming.
Oh, Matt's family's the most inbred. I think that's what you're getting at.
And Egwene's a second.
Oh yeah, because she understood it.
She was like, I kind of get it. I don't know. My dad definitely fucked his cousin, but not his sister.
I don't know why that's tickling me so much. Perhaps it's the amount of alcohol I have in my blood.
Or my fingers inside of you.
Or that filching we did when we took a break.
Brokeback rat. Just trickling out of my dick. Or butt. Trickling out of my dick. You got a big urethra. Tiny rat.
Did your dick just barf a broken backed rat?
Jesus. Alright, let's definitely focus on the sneaking out part and get going.
Matt's like, let's go check out the city. And Perrin's like, oh, I don't know, guys.
This is, of course, more...
And Rand's like, yeah, alright.
I blame Moraine a little bit for not being like, hey, it's safe because it's fucked up, or it's safe because they're scared of it, so we should be too. It's her own fault for not kind of putting a little...
Is it her own fault?
Is it? Well, if she would have put everything on Front Street about what's wrong with this place, they wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yeah, but it's also... True. So we'll give 5-10% blame to her.
Look, guys, she was really tired.
Yeah.
But also in her defense, I feel like the Trollocs and the Fates should have been enough to convince them to, like, let's just hang out.
That's where I was going to go, too.
Yeah.
It's like,
you barely survived, like, 10 minutes ago.
And not only that, we already know that your ventriloquism act is over. They say that at the end of the last chapter. So they're going to be coming back for you.
Smell ventriloquist.
Sorry, my apologies. So why the fuck would you not stay there? You're literally a mile or 2 miles away from Trollocs.
What do you think that group of Trollocs does when they find those puppets? They're like, wait a second. Do you think one of them got like a Rand puppet on a catchpole and was like, I got him.
I think I got him.
It's a puppet. It's not a person. What?
God damn.
Look, he's only 2 feet tall.
Smells like him.
It smells just like him though.
Yeah.
I love this idea. It's almost as good as the Mitchell Butler.
They meet Mortis pretty quickly here.
They talk about the size of the city before that,
50 times.
which is crazy. It's crazy huge.
Not necessarily.
Rand goes like the whole population of the Two Rivers could fit in this one dome. And he just like, that's just a random building they walk through.
Well, it's a stadium.
There's only like 28 people in the Two Rivers.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people in the Two Rivers.
No, I don't remember that many people being. It's like 28.
Yeah, I think there may be 30, but no, I'm sorry. There were 35.
There's 22 now.
There's 35, but 28 of them is correct because 7 of them left.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Well, I think that's
All right, never mind. I stand corrected. 35 is not a very big dome.
Yeah. It's really a tiny stage.
So anyway, Tom was right. Mordeth comes and he's like, "Oh, you guys want treasure?
So
I've got treasure."
He's surprisingly like not creepy. He's just real plain. Until they mention Tarvel.
Well, here's a question for you: is this possibly our original pedophile rapist? Like, note his like excitement upon finding young,
like 3 young boys,
and like
because he wants to embody one of them.
Like,
He wants to be in one of them.
And we've always assumed hake rape was kind of the jumping off point. But what did Matt have on him? The dagger, which is like a virulent STD of.
That's a real reach.
Yeah.
So you're saying Hake wanted to get with those little boys?
I wasn't agreeing with you, but I was like at least on board enough to listen until he started that dagger part.
Kind of with Tom on this one. I was trying to follow you on there, but
it's like an STD knife.
That's called a penis.
Anyway, Mordeth is like, I got a bunch of treasure. I can't carry it all. Why don't you guys just come help me carry it? And Matt's like, treasure? And he runs in and he's like, well, we can't leave them.
We gotta go check out Smog's treasure room.
We gotta go in here.
Yeah.
It's exceptionally lucky for them that there were no like ice cream trucks in the Two Rivers when they were 5. They would have been kidnapped and molested like in 2 seconds.
Did you say ice cream?
By ice cream truck, you mean like white painted paneled van with that says like
it's just
misspelled ice cream on the side?
Just in this deep dark sub basement. Let's go.
By this weird fleshy man. Who
where else would treasure be, Tom? It's fine.
Also, again, I know that, hey, way to inject your rationality, dickhead, but it's been 2,000 years since Eridol, because they know Eridol's age was the same as Manetheren.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, only this dickhead has managed to put together all this shit, when it's only, again, a day's ride from the road, not even. No one's come here to fucking forage. No one's come here to fucking take the treasure. Why would there be anything left 2,000 years later?
I don't understand why you don't get the idea that the city is covered in vines, man. You can't see it.
It's got magic camo.
Yeah.
It's actually just covered in fucking Land's armor, or Land's cloak.
Land's fans cloth.
Fans cloth. I like it.
The city being like hidden, so to speak, not that weird. The weird part would be like, obviously in 2,000 years somebody's gone into there,
especially considering it's
and Mordeth
fucking on a river
didn't pull it off. Like, what happened?
It's just like
in 2,000 years he hasn't tricked one person.
100% agree. Is he the worst at this?
Not one person has walked away, and it's not like those mounds of treasure are fake, because like Matt, it's not like it's an illusion, like he's just like, look at all the treasure, and it's not really real, and then they like leave.
Because he grabs them.
Yeah, he grabs the dagger. It's real. All that shit's there.
I would also be concerned with this guy when he says there's, like, I can't carry all this treasure myself. I would just be like, why don't you take multiple trips?
No. Also, yes.
Obviously, someone would plunder it before he got back, Tom. Which is, again, almost inexplicable.
Because it's been 2,000 years. But odds are, guy number 2 is coming 1 week after I looked at you.
Yeah, when they were like, oh, we're not alone. He's like, you're not alone? Who else is here? Some people. He's like, oh, Moraine and Lan will help us come back in the morning. He's like, who? You're not here by yourselves?
You mean Alice and Andra?
Yeah,
Damn
good job, pairing.
But again, why is he afraid of Tar-Valon? Because other than the fact that they have the knowledge, I assume. Because Moraine mentions
I don't know
later.
about afraid of. I think he just despises or
Now
hates.
That's actually a very good point.
So like when he heard it, he was like, you're here with someone from Tar-Valon? Fuck them. I thought you said you were going to Camelin or whatever the fuck you called it.
What I love is how much, and this is the same time that Ishmael was telling, no, I guess, no, it's not, I'm sorry. Just cut that, I was 1,000 years off. I was
no big deal, only 1,000.
I was thinking how similar he really was to
Archer Hawkman?
Yeah, Archer Hawkman's counselor, who was Ishmael, in that he was, kind of whispering poison and poisoning him against his allies.
Yeah.
But
this story and that story match up bizarrely well.
Except 1,000 years off. I don't know who would have brought that up. Dumbass me.
No, it's a good point.
Well, the similarities are there. You're just off on the timeline. No big deal.
So here's a question. Does Mordeth have any real power just as himself? I mean, like, he gets giant, turns into illusion, and becomes creepy.
He can fit through super small places like the golem.
Or like a urethra. But he doesn't do that.
I think his real power would happen if he finally tricks somebody to taking over their body.
So it's just Mashadar at night. Or we walk out with my dagger.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Mashadar at night?
Yes.
Could you sing a couple
he's
bars?
not the same as Mashadar, is he? They're separate things.
No, but it's like kind of... It's the similar level of hate and distrust and all that kind of imbibes him. But I want to hear Tom sing Mashadar at night.
I'm not going to do that.
I like how Perrin, or maybe Rand, is just like, we'll help you tomorrow. You're getting really weird. We gotta go. I just love the idea of like, well, cool, come back in the morning.
You think I'm getting really weird? Wait till you see how small they get.
Or how huge, too. All in one fucking giant... He's like in the corner, like,
and then
huddled
Rand's just
up,
like,
too.
Hey, you don't have a shadow. Shit, I should not have said that out loud.
Because that freezing process, no inner monologue.
Yeah.
Not good for him. Just not good.
I mean, Rand althor was cold.
It's our second giant in 4 chapters.
It's gonna happen again. We're gonna see.
I mean, he did expand
and then shrink.
I can't imagine what that must have looked like.
Well, we're gonna see.
How are they gonna pull this off in the show? This is gonna be a weird one.
This should be something on the show, unless they fuck up. No, they've cast Peyton Fane, so this has to be on the show. That has to.
I would think that maybe they don't do the expanding and shrinking part necessarily. It's just
I bet it's just gonna be like.
I don't need to see him get big and small.
Creepy, evil vampire, like kind of like in Lord of the Rings when they're transfixed or whatever, like with the ring.
I mean, if they want to make it
and one of them turns, they're like, and they like turn evil for like a second. I feel like it'd be something more like that.
He could just use a model.
Yeah, it's just a model.
Look really big next to it. Use Legos.
Yeah, Legos. Yeah,
maybe just zoom in on the model, and it looks bigger.
I mean, he could be the next Halle Berry. So, in terms of the show, how many Trollocs are they fighting in that?
That joke did not match what we were talking about at all.
It's just the way you said model. Anyway, how many Trollocs do you think they fought?
500 here.
No.
Oh,
when they ran down towards the Trollocs and Unfade.
They said it was supposed to be a scouting party. So it shouldn't have been a whole fist. It's supposed to be a scouting party is what they ran into.
Yeah, I thought it was 100.
So like
20, 25.
Yeah, 25.
Still,
30.
but for the TV show, that's a lot of Trollocs on screen at one time. It's the most we've seen at one time. Period.
Well, then, but quickly following that, they fight 3 fists.
Yeah, they show 3 fists before her earthquake fire scenario.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So in this, not this chapter, but the chapter before, like we got a lot of TV like
CGI time.
Yeah, really early.
Maybe they don't show any Trollocs. Maybe it's just horns.
Maybe.
I mean, there's plenty. The horns themselves.
He hates these horns. We have to.
I mean, you can definitely downplay this into less Trollocs for sure. And still pull off the same effect.
Just keep showing horns. I think.
Yeah, just bigger horns. Yeah.
Maybe even a didgeridoo, something that big. Yeah,
like a Vuvuzela.
That's when you know it's getting real serious.
Vuvuzela. It's really annoying. We gotta run.
Stop doing that.
You're ruining the fucking World Cup.
Ruining the World Cup.
God damn it.
These fucking Trollocs. They're Vuvuzelas.
Congratulations, you ruined the World Cup. I enjoyed the Vuvuz way of the sale.
Yeah, that didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. It did start to weigh down on me after like 20 games. I was like, okay, Jesus Christ.
There's a perfect opportunity to show them too, because we clearly passed the stadium, which is going to be filled with just vuvuzelas.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it added a lot to the games for me. Like, it really made it a lot better.
So anyway, they get the fuck out of there.
I still have that picture on my phone of Link from Ocarina of Time and holding a vuvuzela up into the sky. And it's like, congratulations, you've ruined the World Cup.
So as you said, they get the fuck out of there and they walk out, and there's watchers now because it's almost dark.
Yeah, the torchlights like turn off as they're running out. They're like, oh fuck! They drag Matt out of there. He must have had all of 3 seconds to grab a dagger.
Well, he had it in his hand before that even happened. Like, they show...
Oh, he picked it up?
They mentioned that he had it in his hand before the lights went out.
I love that they're, like, ripping him out of there.
Yeah, this dumbass is trying to, like what?
These idiots go down into the Cave of Wonders and they do the one thing they're not supposed to do.
Wonders.
That'll be a hilarious scene to see.
Yeah. The second Matt picks up that dagger, it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah. Let's see them cartoonishly running full speed through this.
Also, that picture leak from online of like Matt and Rand, and everyone's like, it's not Shadow Logoth, it's impossible. And I'm like, it's entirely possible that's Shadow Logoth. It's a very old, rundown, shitty area.
Wasn't it also mountainous, though, in the background?
No, you couldn't really see. All you saw in the background was like a house, and it was foggy.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking of the other one. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I was
like, they could totally CGI a city in the background. They could totally CGI like streets. This could be the outskirts of what is once an old city. And then you're like, well, the houses are made of wood, and you're like, all right, fair.
So am I.
I mean, it could be Terran Ferry. It could be
not
fog from Terran Ferry.
They're not built on stilts.
Those houses were kind of built up
a little bit, actually, yeah. But they were not clearly built on stilts because they're too close to the river because they're goddamn morons.
All I'm saying is...
Shadow Logoth.
It seems like it was probably Shadow Logoth with how run down and shitty it looked.
But did Rand not have a beard? He shouldn't have a beard because he had just shaved and bathed the other day.
Rand didn't, but Matt did.
Well, what the fuck ever.
I don't know.
Anyway, so they're making their way back, and they finally arrive back into the wards, and all of a sudden, hey, we're not afraid anymore.
Yeah, we're not afraid anymore.
Did you hear me?
They got out of the basement.
Yeah. We're not afraid anymore.
You just look outside, Mordos dragging a trash can of salt.
Runs back inside.
Just taking care of this fog for you guys. Nothing's in this trash can.
So these dumbasses, kind of run back in. It's almost like it's cartoonish.
Why does Mordoth run away from them, so to speak?
Well, that's my question is, does he actually have any power personally? Unless he's got to purchase
I don't think so. I think he just has to trick them to taking him to the outer walls of the city so he can, like, invade their bodies and leave the city.
Sexually.
Yeah, invade their bodies.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of like almost like, stay here until night, my friend, when Mashtar will get you.
Yeah, so they run back to the campsite. You're right. They cross the line of safety.
Yeah. They all run into each other like out of a cartoon.
I mean, Egwene's, like, annoying. Nynaeve's pissed off. Lan isn't there.
Yeah.
Tom's more, like, intrigued / calling them idiots and fools. But also listening to their story.
That's the one good thing that happened. If they wouldn't have run away, Lan wouldn't know there were Trollocs in the city.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's how they should end that. Everyone yelling at them, you're welcome.
And ironically, they're coming this way. What are the odds of that?
Well, he doesn't come, so they actually go to sleep before he comes back and says, like, hey,
yeah, we do get the history of the city finally.
Oh yeah, that's true. And it's like one of those things where you're like, why didn't you say that before?
There's a lot of, again, really cool history here, and it comes with a lot of kind of like the downfall of Manetheren too, which again, you would have thought she had mentioned kind of beforehand when she was doing some shit before the city or before the villagers, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that good story would have been good to know 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Thanks for that. God damn. If you just put it all in the fucking story earlier, we wouldn't have.
I mean, to their point, Matt says it. I mean, like, he's like, you said you would be safe here. And she's like, yeah, inside the wards, you idiots. And but at the same time, like, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know how shit works.
Yeah, they lived on a farm 2 days ago.
She's keeping shit way too close to the chest. Like, she's not... she's revealing shit to their detriment.
You can just say breasts, Joe.
Sorry.
What happens... So he can't
Or
cross
best.
the wards, right? What happens if she takes like 30 of her Aes Sedai or more, and they just made wards in a giant square across the entire city? And like this dude slowly just gets boxed into a corner.
Again, I feel like the Aes Sedai should have been actively dealing with this situation long ago.
I
So
think
I'm on the
if
same
you
page
were-
with you.
I think the ward would fail.
I think any number of attack plans should have been implemented and probably have not been.
This is more or less like a solid wall that keeps them out, more like a these aren't the droids you're looking for thing around this building that just makes the fog go around it.
That's probably that's good.
Anything too obvious, I think it could.
Again, they should have just sunken the city into the ground or something, and just been and staked it off, and then watched it, and just been never touch a pebble in this area.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Which would have taken tremendous amounts of the power, but they could do it systematically.
Maybe they tried.
Maybe they did,
but they didn't, because we've never heard of that. We never.
It takes quite a lot to destroy this city later.
Oh my god, it takes an incredible amount.
Really didn't take that much. This is one effort, one shot. Just a little bit of giant amounts of the fucking one power, and the Dark One's taint all over, rubbing it across its face.
Just a big glistening ball of taint.
I guess that's tWoTcast for this week. Is it?
Sure.
Yeah, we get it. We did it.
All right.
I mean, Land coming back with and saying Trollocs are in the walls. I mean, that we already said that, so we're good.
We already said he did that like 4 times.
Yeah.
All right, if you have any comments or questions, the best way to find us is on Twitter. It's @tWoTcast. Everybody should know that by now.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Is that close? No.
Weird.
You can email us, tWoTcast@gmail.com.
What do you think the old tongue's going to sound like on the show?
It's not like a guy nutting who was retarded.
We're on Patreon now. That's patreon.com/tWoTcast. If you enjoy the show, help us out and give us $1. And of course, thank you to all our current patrons.
We are almost there. Only $250,000 short of our real goal. We appreciate the patrons. We love you, patrons. Give 4 million times more. God damn it.
It's not that big of a deal.
Here's the thing. I only need one person to give $250,000 one time.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
After the 1 month, cancel it.
Well, here's
You
the
may
point.
want to do that. That's a good call.
No.
Or don't,
then it's
or don't.
another opportunity for us to hang out with
Jeff Goldblum every
for
month.
8 hours. It's fine.
We spend $3 million a year on Goldblum charges. Podcast still sounds like shit. We haven't upgraded anything, but
If we made $250,000 a month, $250,000 a month from Patreon, and every month we spend it on hanging out with Jeff Goldblum. Holy shit.
It's kind of like buying a horse.
yeah, I just want to ride it all the time. tWoTcast theme song for this week, because we have more than one, because fuck yeah, we're awesome, is brought to you by Taffy Bennington. That handle is, of course, @SingWithTaffy on Twitter and Anarchy101 on YouTube, which is a new website.
Oh, it's new?
YouTube.
Never heard of it. What's on there?
Seriously? You guys not heard of YouTube?
Yeah.
We'll talk later. Join us next week for The Wheel of Time, Book 1, The Eye of the World, Part 6.
Why are you laughing?
I just was wondering who doesn't know the name of Book 1 of The Wheel of Time.
Hey, you know what?
Covering chapters 20 through 23, and you can't make that say 69 no matter how hard you try.
Oh, I can. You want to multiply it by 3?
No, stop.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, you could do it if you studied your math.
Yeah, you could. 23 times 3 is 69.
Even listen to Jono.
Jono.
Joe.
Keep the change of filthy animals.
Tom, study your math.
I tried.
I mean, you did well.
Everyone shut the fuck up.
23 times 3 is pretty good.
That's study math.
Reread a
He
podcast.
should have said chapter 20 through 69 divided by 3.
John is the wild card.